Hey folks, so the next thing we're going to get to is the engine compartment, inner fender wells, and radiator support bracket, as well as the battery tray. So here we are. Here's the wrecked piece. This is the apron, and we got a new one over here, as you can see. So basically you have to go in and find all those spot welds, and basically it's always going to be an indent, so you got to pre-drill the indent with an 1/8 inch bit. Then you take your spot weld cutter, as you see here, put it into the drill hole, and then cut it. This one's getting pretty dull. We're going to probably get another one pretty soon enough, because you're not going to be able to make any holes. And as you can see, you also have to chisel out where the metal meets. Now this piece is getting replaced, and this piece is getting replaced. So technically speaking, we'd only have to cut out here and over there. But just so we see where it was welded over here, we should cut this side also, just to show where the spot welds will show up on the new piece. So we're getting there. We got the battery out. You can see it's getting pretty loose. Okay, so now over here we still have a few spot welds. I got my solenoid and my voltage regulator out of there. So where is it? Somewhere. Make sure you keep all your screws and bolts handy. And then, you know, we have some other parts you gotta transfer. So we have a little drain plug over here, or maybe that was just a plug put in because somebody put a hole in they didn't intend to. We also have some clips here for wires. So you gotta just get all this stuff to, match where the old stuff was on the new piece. And here we even have a bolt. We'll replace that. We have a new tray. I'm gonna show you that. That's right here. So that piece will go in, you know, on the new piece of apron. This is the battery tray. And then we'll see what's next. So I'm going to get this all off, show you what we have, and we'll take it from there. Another little piece of advice. I've been cutting all my spot weld cutting all my spot welds from the outside. These are all on the inside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill out these holes as best I can over here, and then I'll come in from the other side and cut the hole out, and then we'll see how that works. Because down here it's just gonna get fishy. Probably gonna have to cut it out. So we'll take that when we get to it. All right, bye. So I just wanted to show you down here. It's really difficult to get these spot welds out. So you don't want to mess up this piece, all right? Now this is attached to the frame. You really won't hurt it. So basically what I'm doing is I'm taking my chisel, sticking it in there, and just banging, separating everything along here, up there, and then we can pull this little piece out. This thing's coming. It's just missing that part down there. And we'll be on to the next part. Bye. So we've chiseled everything in here, and some in here. Just some spots you can't get to those old welds. So I thought you'd like to be there for the moment. So here we go. Last pieces of metal. Get out of here. And again, I show you this because I want you to realize this is not easy. It's very difficult. It's not so difficult. It's just pain. Okay? Alright. What do we got? And there we go. Now we got the old piece out. Okay. And again, a little different than the new piece. You have these one here?
Yeah.
We got the old here, new here, and that's going to go in here. And we'll have a beautiful piece. So we're going to get in there. And we're going to clean up all these surfaces where the old spot welds are. Find out where they were, and then we're going to re-spot weld this into the frame, and of course this other piece of metal right here. And then after we get that there, we'll put on the radiator support bracket, which will go onto this, and find the spot welds there so we know where to weld it onto the apron with the battery tray. All right, I'll get back to you. Thanks. So the next part of getting this inner fender apron on is you gotta have two spots. You have to measure the side that's right. So the great thing about this car is the left side didn't get hit. driver's side is good. So we got to take a measurement so that when we put the new apron on, it fits in place. There's some sort of common denominator as far as the length from some point to another point. Make sure it all matches up more than once. So what we're going to do is we're going to take two separate measurements from two different parts of the like firewall area, and then maybe like a slot on like another part of the back area, and see what it equals, and then make sure with the fender in the same position with one of those measurements, you get the same measurement. This way you know it's in place to some degree, but my common sense, not being completely familiar with this, is that everything should stop at the same point. You put on your radiator support bracket and you're done, and then you put the rest of it together, which will be the easy part, honestly. I mean, it'll take a minute, but we'll get it. So here we go. Here we go. So first, there's a notch back there on the fender wall. Hold it nice and tight back there, as you can see. And bring it to the edge. Okay. So back there in that notch, as you can see in the fender wall, the top of it, we're going to take it, we're going to measure from there to the edge of the apron on this side. You get about 45 1/4. So we're going to call that our long measurement. And then what we're going to do is, we have this little hole where one of your fender clips goes. We're going to measure from there. And there, I'm just going to call it 41 1/2. It's really 7/16. So that's your second measurement. We'll call that the short measurement. Okay. Let's take that same notch back here. Okay. Again, we need to be to 45 1/4. I'm going to pull it out, and what we're going to do is we're going to pull it out, see if I can quickly enough get it set in place. That's good. Hold it on to something. So now we have this new apron in. I have it clamped down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that measurement, one measurement from back here against that little nook back there, bring it over, and right on the money, we got 45 1/4, exactly what we want. And this way we know that from one end to the other, something that would be our guide, distance-wise, we know that this is matching that. This side, the other side was not destroyed at all. And it stayed straight. So we're going to work with that. We're going to make a line right here so that we know that when we see that lining up right there, we know it's in place, and we can start cleaning, drilling any holes necessary. We're going to clean up the inside here of the old with our grinder and whatever else we need to get it down to metal. Clean that up. Show all the metal in here so we can go and safely so we can safely tack weld this, and it should be in. Once we get that done, we will get this radiator support bracket off, and we will do the same there as far as getting it in place. And technically speaking, once we get this done and in place and it's all straight, I mean, the radiator support bracket should be a piece of cake. It should just pop on there and you're done. Put it on your tack welds and you're out of there. And we can move on to the next thing. Okay. Okay, so we're at the tail end of getting this radiator support bracket piece out. I cut everything up here just to get the major part of it out. As you can see, the radiator's been taken out. The clips
the whole radiator in, took them out so we don't damage them. So what we're going to do, I mean, we can get into all kinds of craziness over here. I'll show you. We get into pulling up. Obviously, there's a little lip of metal in here. It's right there. You can see it real well right here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my wheel, my grind wheel, cutoff wheel, and I'm going to cut right down here, all the way along the whole thing, clean it out, and then maybe grind it down so it's nice and smooth. And that's it, and we're done. We're going to get this piece of steel out of here. We're going to bring the new steel in. We're going to clean it up first. Go make it look a little pretty down here. I mean, part of this whole restoration is to make this thing look brand new, and then we'll go from there. This I thought was really great to share with you. So we have this, this is the old radiator support bracket, right? New one's over here. One thing they didn't do in the new one is it's like these nuts in here. I don't know if you could see them, but it's nuts to back the bolts that are holding on, you know, the bracket, the center bracket that holds your hood adjustment. It houses where the vacuum tank goes to open and close the headlights. So here's the thing. You could go and work something out with the new one where you stick a nut inside there. Here's my suggestion. Cut this out, right? Stick it inside the back of this. That way you're going to see it. You see the new metal here, right? And now you don't need to stick any nuts in here or have any trouble getting it out when you're taking those bolts off. Not that it happens that often, but in the beginning you're going to be doing it a few times. So we're going to cut this out, again, stick it in there, and then we're done. The bolts are already ready, and the nuts will be there. And as you can see, here we go. Better lighting situation. I'll clean this up. Stick this in here. And honestly, when you bolt it in, I say bolt it in first and then weld in. It's bolted that way, you know it's lined up right. And you're done. You're ready to go. All right. Okay, so now we're basically trying to get our new radiator support bracket in. One of the problems I came across is the apron on the driver's side wasn't cooperative bending over. It's a lot of pressure to this thing, and it's got to be lined up right on the edge. And of course it's going to be the same on the new one, which should probably be easier because the thing's loose, so we can spot it in and make it work. So what I ended up doing, just so we don't deteriorate the metal here, is I stuck a piece of wood in here. I got a C-clamp. I attach it to the other side on the radiator support bracket to sort of sandwich this whole thing together. And then I had to shove the bracket into the metal that's coming from the apron. So that means here you got your hole lined up. This would be for your fender nut. And you just tack it all together. And once it's all done, it should hold fine. You know, I held it in here, and I just want to say one thing about the Goodmark parts. This went in perfectly. Over here, this is sandwiched in between here in the frame and here, the little tab they have that goes in. And then, of course, as you're going along, you just pull this nice and tight, spot weld it down there, and you're in a good place. So I just wanted to share that with you. We'll get to welding this momentarily. Okay, well, we got the apron in. We got the radiator support bracket. I just threw some satin paint on everything after I sanded stuff down. And I mean, this is a world of difference. Now, we'll get it back together, and it is just going to be something. We'll be on the next project very soon.